Hey guys, welcome back to the Human Condition. This video is another video in our psychology series. This is a pretty interesting one, cool one. It is what are the 12 laws of karma, and what are the 12 laws of karma, and what can we learn from them? So this is a pretty interesting one. I feel like karma is a really cool. The 12 laws of karma, at least, is a really cool concept that can kind of give you a guiding block on how to grow as a person and understand yourself and other people around you, and how to like slowly improve each day, and grow as a person and get better each day. So I think it's a really cool uh, concept, and it's kind of like a lifestyle guide, kind of, on how to for self improvement and how to grow and help others grow around you. So I think it's a pretty interesting concept. So yeah, the first law would be the law of cause and effect, and that's basically the law that suggests you get back what you reap what you sow, you get back what you give out, and not just that, not just what you give, but how you act is how people react to you in return. So if you give out positivity, most of the time, hopefully, people will give back positivity. If you give out knowledge, people will give back out knowledge. If you give out opinions, people give back you their opinions, etc. It's basically the idea of what you think will come back around, and what you act and how you behave will come back to you eventually, for better or for worse. So the idea that what we think can kind of impact our reality in a way, sort of mind over matter, but not quite. It's kind of like um, mind over matter in a way, but it's more like to create positive changes, you have to have positive mindset, because if all your thoughts are negative, your thoughts control your behavior. So if all your thoughts are negative, your actions will be negative, because that's all you're thinking about. And almost from like a psychological standpoint too, psychology, uh, cognitive, then behavioralism. Cognitive is like usually the first one. What you think becomes your habits. So if you have negative thoughts, you might form bad habits. Whereas if you have positive thoughts, your habits will become better because the positive thoughts. And if you have both, there might be a confliction, because it might be some positive habits and some negative habits. So basically, even if you can tie in psychology as well, and basically what you think will impact your actions heavily, and your actions will come back to benefit you or not benefit you, or haunt you. So that's the law of cause and effect. The second law would be the law of creation, or also could be called the law of action. This basically means to achieve anything in life, you have to not just think about it like the first one, but kind of like goes in a series, right? Number two, not just think about it, but also act on it as well, to achieve your desired goal and not hold yourself back. If you especially have positive thoughts to grow, make sure, like, if you act, at least in my opinion, it will help you achieve. You'll get closer to achieving that if you don't hold back on achieving your positive goals by acting. So that's the law of creation, or the law of action. The third one would be the law of humility. The law of humility basically states, in life, to grow, we must accept that sometimes we make mistakes, and we have to be humble about certain things. Like, I might have messed up here, or I'm sorry, I really shouldn't have done that, but I'm going to try to be better and to grow as a person. So the law of humility says, if you want to achieve something as well, you're going to have to admit sometimes when you mess up, and say you're sorry, and try to be better as a person as well, and learn from that mistake. And the law of humility says, if you do this in life, your relationships with people and yourself and achieving your goals will all come a lot more naturally, because you can grow more and learn more from admitting your mistakes, and just trying to grow from them and be better from your mistakes. The law of growth. The law of growth says, number four, that in life, you're gonna kind of like my video, growth versus comfort. In life, you're gonna grow regardless, which is a shame because sometimes you might not be ready to grow. You might want to stay in that comfortable zone, however, your comfort zone. However, in life, you're going to have to grow, I guess, regardless, which, kind of sucks sometimes. But that being said, the positive is you can choose the way you grow. So even though you have to grow, you don't have to let life and other people decide how you grow. You can choose how you want to change as a person, says the law of growth. The law, number 5, the law of responsibility states in life, kind of like similar to the law of humility, the only difference is it's not necessarily admitting when you're wrong. It's similar to admitting when you're wrong, but more so having to take responsibility for your actions. And so similar to the law of humility, actually. But the law of responsibility is more like everything you do before you make an action, think it over a little bit, because every action you take, law of responsibility says what happens based off that action you took is you're doing, sort of. I mean, not always, but you're doing most of the time, is because the result of what happens, negative or positive, that action you're responsible for. So it says that you should take responsibility for your actions, whether or not they have negative consequences, because if you don't, it might be worse off for you and other people around you, I guess, if you don't, and more hassle if you don't take responsibility for that action that was negative or positive, but most likely negative. So you take responsibility because it might be worse for you and the people around you if you make a mistake, a slip up, and make amends to that. Number 6, law of connection. It basically states that your past, your future, and your present are all connected. And if you, the past version of you made who you are today, and who you are today can make who you are tomorrow. So it's basically pretty cool, pretty wholesome. That it's kind of like, if you liked who you were in the past, you could still be that person. And if you didn't like who you were in the past, you can always change and make yourself different today. And that change you make today to be better than or be like your past self, or not like yourself, past self, will help benefit yourself in the future. So that's the law of connection. Number 7, the law of focus. The law of focus is, in life it's tough to focus on multiple different things, like multitasking. So it's easier in life to take one thing at a time, because if you try to focus on too many things, you'll become overwhelmed and drained and easily angered and upset. Whereas if you focus on one thing at a time, it's easier to accomplish that. And it suggests focusing more on, instead of material things, ideals, because it's easier to handle material things if you focus on ideals, because it's less aggravating, I guess, in a way I was trying to say. Whereas if you're focused on just getting something done right in the moment, it potentially could be a lot more aggravating and cause a lot more stress than that's necessary in life. Number 8 is the law of giving and hospitality. So this is similar to the law of cause and effect. And it basically says is, if you want to receive something in life, you have to give, which kind of makes sense, because if you go to a restaurant to get food, you have to pay. So basically in life, anything, even not like financial, emotional relationships, if you want a connection, I guess, with someone, you have to open yourself up to receiving that connection. So if you want emotional depth from someone, you have to express emotional depth. If you want a strong relationship with someone, you have to, for them to reach out to you, you might have to reach out to them, just in my opinion. And you have to give a little bit to get a little bit, not just financially, but emotionally, physically, mentally, emotionally. And once you give those, you can also receive as well. So that's the law of giving and hospitality. Number 9 is the law of here and now. And this is kind of similar to the law of connection, where the past and the future, um, it's just realizing that all the past, uh, now, and future are all connected, but um, focus on the here and now specifically, because that's the only thing you can change. So sometimes it's easy to get stuck in worrying about what might happen, but you can still have time to prevent it right here and now, or make what happens in the future. And um, if you regret what happened in the past or who you were in the past, there's still time now to try to at least try to make amends from what happened in the past. And to, if you like the way you were in the past, there's still time now to be that guy or girl who, or person who you were back in the past. So the here and now adds the law of connection, but adds the ideal that um, focusing more on now will help you uh, be better in the future and help you and grow from the past. Number 10 would be the law of change, and that's similar to the law of growth. The only difference is the law of change says that life is constantly changing, and that's the only thing. Well, there's other things you can rely on, obviously, but one major thing that you can rely on is that life will always change. So to change as a person, similar to the law of growth, the past will repeat itself, like behavioralism, like patterns we get into, especially if they're bad habits. The best way to stop a habit if you don't like it, the past repeating itself, is to change the way you act. So if you have a recurring theme in life of a struggle, try to find new ideas and new ways instead of doing old habits to correct things, because the old habits might not work out. But if you find new innovative ways, it could potentially help, probably, hopefully. So that's the law of change. Number 11, the law of patience and reward. And it basically says if you want to achieve a desired outcome, you have to keep doing it almost consistently, or not just almost consistently, at least try every day to work on that action, or work on that creation of whatever that is you're trying to achieve. Because even if you have something, you took action, you got something, things don't last forever. But if you take the thing you obtained, if you take good care of what you have achieved, you can keep it longer, typically. So the law of patience and reward is, if you keep trying to achieve something, don't give up after the first try of action, but keep going and going and going. And eventually, you'll slowly start to develop new habits, new ideas, new methods of how to go about things, especially if you mess up each time. That's a good thing, because you're learning how to change what you're doing to get closer to achieving your goals. So the law of patience and reward is take your time, chill, relax, and act each day, or at least every other day, to achieve whatever you're trying to achieve. And don't give up, and just keep pushing to combining the law of action / creation to achieve your goals. And finally, the law of significance and importance. This is basically the law that says every single person is put on earth for a certain specific reason, to impact other people. So this basically says every person has a reason they're here and has an influence. So it's important to not be afraid to be who you are, because there's a reason you are who you are, and that you might impact other people more than you might think. And every person is valid, and every person's opinion matters. That's actually a video I want to do on the future, so I might not talk too much about it, but why every person's opinion matters. But basically, It matters because everyone influences everyone, and everything's kind of based off everything else, if you really think about it, at least in my opinion. So, um, just being the best you can be can help other people be the best they can be, and you'll influence them in a positive way, and they can influence you in a positive way. So yeah, these are the 12 laws of karma, and what we can learn from them. Basically, learn that these all kind of work together to make a more fulfilling life and help you grow as a person, but not just help you grow as a person, but understand life, understand yourself, understand others, and how you can grow and help others grow with you in life. So yeah, those are the 12 laws of karma. Thank you guys again for all the recent support. I really appreciate it. As always, thanks again for watching. Like, subscribe if you want. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.